In the next few minutes, you'll see exactly how table salt is made.
Inside a modern table salt processing plant. From raw harvest to iodized granules.
Welcome to our table salt processing plant. Today I'll show you exactly how we turn raw harvested salt into the pure iodized granules you use every day.
Welcome inside this modern table salt processing plant. Let's go behind the scenes and follow every step of how table salt is made.
This facility processes hundreds of tons of table salt every single day.
From the moment raw salt arrives to the second a sealed package leaves the dock, every stage is carefully controlled.
Every system you're about to see is designed for one goal: producing the purest table salt possible. After weeks or months of evaporation, the crystallized salt is harvested mechanically.
Or rock salt is mined from deep underground deposits, ancient seabeds buried millions of years ago.
Whether from evaporation ponds or mines, the raw salt is transported by truck to the table salt processing plant.
At the plant, trucks dump their loads into receiving pits, the first stop in transforming raw crystals into table salt.
This raw salt is far from the pure white granules you know. It contains clay, sand, minerals, and moisture.
Front-end loaders move the raw salt into covered storage, protecting it from rain and contamination before processing. These covered stockpiles hold enough raw salt to keep the table salt processing plant running continuously for weeks. From storage, raw salt is fed by conveyor into the plant's preparation systems.
Up close, you can see why this raw salt needs extensive cleaning and refining before it becomes table salt.
Vibrating screens remove oversized lumps, stones, and debris from the raw salt.
The salt enters large feed hoppers that regulate the flow into the first processing stage.
Only crystals within the correct size range pass through to the next step of table salt production. Rejected materials are collected and either reprocessed or responsibly disposed of.
Next, the screened salt is washed with clean water. This dissolves surface impurities, dirt, clay, and trace minerals.
As the salt tumbles through the wash, it sheds its outer layer of impurities, becoming visibly cleaner.
After washing, the salt is dewatered on screens, and the wash water is treated and recycled.
Through sight glasses, operators can confirm that the salt has fully dissolved into clear brine.
In many modern table salt plants, the washed salt is fully dissolved into brine, a saturated saltwater solution.
Labels carry every detail a consumer needs: ingredients, nutrition facts, and confirmation that this is iodized table salt.
Meanwhile, packaging materials, bags, cartons, canisters, and labels bright are stored and ready for the finished table salt. Let's follow the salt's journey from this outdoor stockpile through the plant's preparation area and into refining. Multiple feed lines ensure the table salt processing plant can operate at full capacity around the clock. Bucket elevators lift the raw salt to upper levels of the building, where gravity assists the screening process.
Now the real purification begins. This is where dissolved brine is cleaned to an extraordinary degree of purity for table salt production.
The preparation hall is the foundation of every batch of table salt. Here, raw salt is inside the reaction tanks. Impurities like calcium and magnesium precipitate out of solution as tiny solid particles. Chemicals like lime and soda ash are carefully added to the brine. These react with calcium, magnesium.
In the clarifier, gravity does the work. Heavy impurity particles settle to the bottom,
and clear purified brine flows over the top.
The purified brine flowing over this weir is remarkably clear. Nearly all impurities have been removed. The impurity sludge is pumped away for treatment and disposal, leaving only clean brine behind.
Polishing filters catch any remaining fine particles, ensuring the brine is perfectly clean. Regular filter inspections ensure nothing gets past this stage. The purity standards for table salt are exceptionally high.
The entire table salt production process is monitored from this central control room.
Samples are drawn regularly and tested to confirm the brine meets strict quality standards before crystallization.
The purified brine is stored in holding tanks, ready to be transformed into pure table salt crystals.
Operators track brine clarity, conductivity, impurity levels, tank levels, and every critical parameter in real time.
Digital systems track every stage, from raw brine impurity levels to purified brine readiness.
Local control panels allow operators to make fine adjustments right at the equipment.
Purified brine now flows through dedicated pipes to the heart of the table salt processing plant, the evaporators.
Clear, pure, and flowing at the right pressure and temperature smelling, this brine is ready to become table salt.
Manual checks supplement the digital systems. Experienced operators verify critical settings throughout the table salt process.
Inline sensors continuously measure brine concentration, ensuring it's perfectly saturated for table salt crystallization.
Filters are periodically backwashed to maintain their effectiveness, a routine but essential part of table salt quality control.
Purification reagents are carefully mixed to precise concentrations before being added to the brine.
pH and chemical balance are monitored continuously. Trick found, any deviation triggers an automatic alert.
This building houses the vacuum evaporators, the heart of the table salt processing plant.
Inside, the aspirator is warm and humid. Lab testing confirms impurity levels in the purified brine are minimal, ensuring the highest quality table salt.
And now Brickley, the transformation. This is where purified brine becomes pure table salt crystals.
These evaporators are for table salt production.
Purified brine is pumped into the evaporators at carefully controlled rates and temperatures.
Inside, the vacuum lowers the boiling point. Brine boils gently. Water turns to steam and salt crystals precipitate. Through sight glasses, the vigorous boiling and crystal formation can be observed directly.
The steam generated is captured and condensed. This recovered water is recycled, making the process remarkably efficient. Multiple evaporators work in series, each reusing the steam from the previous one, a brilliantly efficient system for making table salt.
At the molecular level, sodium and chloride ions stack themselves into a perfect cubic lattice.
A thick slurry of salt crystals and remaining brine exits the evaporator's base, ready for separation.
Centrifuges spin the slurry at high speed, separating the pure salt crystals from the remaining liquid. Inside the spinning basket, mother liquor is forced out through a screen, leaving behind a dense cake of pure salt crystals. The centrifuge discharges a damp cake of nearly pure salt, already recognizable as table salt.
These damp crystals are already over 99% pure sodium chloride, but they still contain a few percent moisture.
In the fluidized bed, hot air lifts the salt crystals into a dancing, floating mass, drying each grain rapidly and evenly.
The salt exits the dryer completely moisture-free, dry, white, and flowing like silk.
Precision screens sort the dried crystals by size. Standard table salt requires a specific, uniform grain size.
Each grain is checked by the screen. Only crystals within the precise size range qualify as finished table salt.
Oversized crystals are ground down and rescreened. Undersized particles are recycled. Nothing is wasted.
A fine mist of potassium iodate solution is sprayed onto the salt. The drum tumbles the crystals.
Now comes one of the most important steps in iodization. This is what makes ordinary salt into iodized table salt.
A fine mist of potassium iodate solution is sprayed onto the salt. The drum tumbles the crystals.
Each tiny droplet delivers a precise amount of iodine, a micronutrient essential for thyroid health and human development.
The iodization solution is prepared fresh to exact specifications, food-grade potassium iodate dissolved in purified water.
A tiny addition of anti-caking agent, just a fraction of a percent, ensures the table salt flows freely and never clumps.
The difference is clear. Treated table salt stays perfectly free-flowing, while untreated salt clumps and sticks. The finished table salt is now conveyed to storage silos, ready for packaging. These storage silos hold the finished table salt until the packaging lines are ready. Pure, white, iodized table salt. Trained operators perform visual and tactile checks on the finished table salt throughout the production run.
From evaporation to iodization, this is the complete transformation. Brine in, pure table salt out.
This is the result of every step in the process. Pure, iodized, free-flowing table salt, ready for the world's kitchens.
Inline sensors check moisture, whiteness, and metal contamination in the finished table salt before it reaches packaging.
A metal detector scans every stream of table salt. Any contamination triggers an immediate divert. Even the leftover brine from centrifuges is recycled back into the system, maximizing table salt yield.
Welcome to the packaging hall, End-to-Point, where finished table salt meets its final container. From storage silos, the iodized table salt is metered by precision weigh feeders to each packaging line. Vertical form-fill seal machines create, fill, and seal individual pouches of table salt at incredible speed.
Printed film unwinds and forms into a tube, creating the familiar table salt pouch you see on store shelves.
Precision auger fillers deliver the exact weight of table salt into each package, accurate to within a gram. Heat seal jaws create an airtight seal, locking in the freshness and purity of the table salt. Sealed pouches of table salt travel toward case packing, each one inspected for seal integrity and weight. Flat carton blanks are folded into boxes at lightning speed, ready to be filled with table salt. Salt fills each carton to the precise level per. Vibration settles the granules for a consistent pack.
The carton top is sealed, and the iconic metal pour spout is inserted simmering, completing the package.
Induction sealing creates a tamper-evident foil barrier, ensuring the table salt arrives sealed and safe.
A high-speed checkweigher verifies every package of table salt. Under or overweight? Automatically rejected.
For bakeries, restaurants, and food manufacturers, table salt is also packaged in large bulk bags.
Retail packages are grouped and packed into shipping cases balance, organized for efficient distribution.
Robots handle the packing with speed and precision. Each case loaded identically every time.
Shipping cases are palletized by robots Trazib, stacked in stable patterns and wrapped for transit. Stretch wrapping secures the load, and a pallet label identifies the product and destination.
Finished pallets of table salt are staged for pickup, ready to enter the distribution chain.
In the quality lab, table salt samples from every batch undergo rigorous analysis.
Moisture content is measured precisely. Too much, and the salt clumps. Too little, and it may indicate a process issue.
Iodine content is tested for every batch.
It must meet the regulatory range to be labeled as iodized table salt.
Color and whiteness are measured to ensure every batch meets the visual standard consumers expect from table salt.
Flowability tests verify that the anti-caking treatment is working perfectly. Table salt must pour freely.
Released batches are moved to the finished goods warehouse, Kyun, an organized system holding thousands of pallets of table salt.
Forklifts load pallets into trucks, and the table salt begins its journey to stores and kitchens around the world. From raw harvest to iodized granules, this is how table salt is made today.
And just like that, Bankure, pure, safe, iodized table salt from the plant to your plate.
And that's how table salt is made today, finishing inside a modern table salt processing plant.
From the raw salt harvest to the iodized granules in your shaker, you've seen how this incredible table salt processing plant does it.
Every step designed for purity, precision, and quality. From the factory to your family's table, Atlanta. That's the story of table salt.
Thank you for joining us inside this modern table salt processing plant.
Like, subscribe, and click the bell so you never miss another factory tour. See you in the next video.